bloodthirsty, cruel, and insane. These are some of the first words that come into our minds when talking about serial killers. Can humanity really go lower than these despicable human beings? We think not. Welcome everyone to Sealandom. Today we are talking about the blockbuster movie Ratsasan, a great Tamil crime thriller directed by Ram Kumar. But before that, if you are new to our channel, consider hitting the subscribe button so that you can enjoy more of these geek stuff. So, without further ado, let's get into business. What do you know about serial killers? A serial killer is a person who commits a series of murders, often with no apparent motive and typically following a characteristic, predictable behavior pattern. Most serial killers are not medically insane individuals, which means they just commit these crimes to satiate their thirst for blood. The world has seen its fair share of ruthless serial killers like Jack the Ripper in the 1880s and Ted Bundy in the 1970s. With the impact of these serial killers on society, it is inevitable that film creators make movies about them. We have lots of movies about serial killers throughout the history of cinema. So, what makes Ratsasan special? Let's find out. The name Ratsasan means demon. It can be considered as an accurate definition of the serial killers shown in the movie because the killer always targets teenage schoolgirls. The film has of 8.3 on IMDb, so you know it would be a good movie for most audiences. The story's main character, or more commonly known as the hero, Arun, is a rookie police officer who aspired to be a movie director but had to take on the job of the lawkeeper because of his responsibility to his family. Actor Vishnu Vishal plays the character of Arun Kumar, and there is no doubt he did it very well. Arun dreamt of being a filmmaker for 12 years. He struggled a lot during these days in the film industry, trying to balance his work life and achieving his dream. Still, the cruel reality of his financial situation finally hits him as his sister tries to get a job to support his family. After some futile attempts at creating his movie, he gives up and applies for the job his brother-in-law prepared for him. He did so much research for his film, which is about serial killers, so he has vast knowledge about serial killers and their behaviors. Little did he know, that knowledge would help him catch a dangerous criminal in reality as a sub-inspector. At the beginning of the film, it is shown that a dead body of a young girl is found near a lake in Chennai. The body is brutally mutilated beyond recognition, with holes drilled in her eyes and multiple cuts on her face. That was the first victim of the killer, as far as we know. The body was later identified as Samyukta, a 15-year-old schoolgirl. A few days after discovering this body, another girl named Amuda went missing while coming home from school. If you have watched the movie, you may have noticed that we can actually see the moment of her abduction. She was petting her dog, and in the next moment, she was walking towards a vehicle, like she knew the person in it. Next, we can see the dog running with something hanging from its collar. When the girl's mother finds the dog, we can see that it is a gift box. What's in the gift box? Here's the scary part. Inside the gift box is a severed head of a doll, with its face severely mutilated and eyes pulled out. After the missing girl was reported to the police by her parents, the case was assigned to a female detective named Lakshmi, who later proved to be a total nuisance for our hero, Arun. On the same day, Arun forges the signature of his brother-in-law to release an innocent girl, but he is later caught by his brother-in-law. While Arun gets an earful from his brother-in-law, his niece Amu is also present. She heard that Arun could forge her father's signature, so she begs him to sign her report card. Arun helps her, saying it is the last time. And, of course, he gets caught again by Amu's homeroom teacher, and Amu is told to bring her parents to meet the teacher. Arun takes the role of her widowed father as Amu instructs and meets the teacher, who later became his love interest, Vijay. Amu's mother and Arun's sister Kokila also work as a teacher in the same school Amu attends. While the meeting between Arun and Vijay is happening, both Amu's parents come to the school and catch Amu and Arun. As a result of this incident, it was decided that Amu needed to go to another school with more strict rules. With all this happening, Arun takes a photo of the doll's head and searches the toy stores for clues, where he encounters still angry Vijay with a child. Arun learns that the child has a speech disability. As the search goes, Arun realizes the first murder, the murder of Samyukta, may be connected to the abduction of Amuda. He presents this theory and evidence to Lakshmi, who was beating a suspect to get answers, but she strongly disagrees with him just because agreeing with him means she is wrong. But soon after, Arun proved to be right as the police found the dead body of Amuda under a bridge. After the autopsy reports revealed that both murders were exactly the same, Arun reveals that a gift box containing a doll's head was indeed left at the first crime scene where Samyukta was abducted. After seeing this and hearing Arun's theory, Lakshmi's superior officer gives the order to work according to Arun's plan, which is not to publicize the murders and keep the bodies hidden until the murderer is caught. The police then hide the victims' bodies in a secret government morgue under the care of the police forensic pathologist. Arun then finds out that the doll is not very common and hasn't been on sale for some time. Then the scene shifts to a school. Here, you may have wondered why you are seeing these unnecessary shots. Well, have a little patience, because we are going to get the first look at our murderer. Or at least that's what the director wants us to think. We can see a very strict and old-fashioned male teacher abusing his power over children to punish them physically. That is the class Amu transfers to. The teacher, in Barrage, really gives out that serial killer vibe, with the background music matching the killer's piano theme. A function is happening in the school with a magic show which is performed by a woman. After the bell rings to signal that the function is starting, Barrage allows the students to go to the function, except for one girl whose marks are the lowest. After everyone leaves, Barrage threatens and blackmails her into fulfilling his disgusting desires. After it was done, the girl was crying, but he just left for the function and laughed with others, indicating that he is truly a sick individual. Meanwhile, another girl, Mira, is missing while coming home from school. No gift box was found by anyone in this incident, but she was seen getting into a rickshaw by her teacher, Vijay. Arun then asks Vijay to help him find the rickshaw, but she refuses this, saying she doesn't remember anything. Later that day, Arun helps Vijay by saving her from some petty thugs. Impressed by this, Vijay agrees to help Arun to look for the rickshaw. On the next day, they searched for the rickshaw by checking everywhere around the town, but they weren't able to find it. After 2 days of searching, Vijay finally remembers some details about the rickshaw. She tries to inform Arun about this, but their connection keeps getting cut off. Arun is on a rickshaw because he had a flat tire on his way to a crime scene. What crime scene, you ask? Another body has been found in a dumpster, which was later identified as Mira's. After he gets out of the vehicle, he finally connects with Vijay, and she tells him the details she remembered about the rickshaw. Arun realizes the details match with the same rickshaw he came in, and he captures the driver after a pursuit by foot. In the interrogation of the driver, he confesses that he didn't kill the girls, but he only delivered them to a certain teacher. You guessed right, that's our infamous teacher, Barrage. The police immediately take off to capture Barrage, but he isn't at home. They find Mira's belongings and a severed head of a doll there. This was enough to convince the police officers that Barrage was the killer. Arun and the others went to the school and caught Barrage right before he was trying to molest Amu. Infuriated by this detestable act, Arun seems that he is going to shoot Barrage, but he fired his gun to the wall at the last minute and beats Barrage badly with a piece of wood. Barrage is then hospitalized, and he admits to the crimes he committed. But the problem is that he only admitted to the molesting and kidnapping of Mira. According to him, he lured Mira to his house, but she managed to escape him right before he did anything to her. Even though he went after her, he only found a gift box in front of his house. Obviously, no police officer believed him. Arun then leaves the hospital and attends to the birthday party of his niece, Amu. While he was there, he got a call from a hospital and hurried back there. Barrage is now holding a police officer, Venkat, at gunpoint as a hostage and demands his freedom. Arun insists on capturing Barrage later without pressuring him, but Lakshmi won't listen to him even now and orders him to leave. Even after Arun leaves, Barrage refuses to put down the gun, saying he will be killed anyway, and gets in the elevator with Venkat. We hear a gunshot and see Venkat on the floor covered with blood after the elevator door opens. But to our surprise, Venkat opens his eyes, and we can see Barrage lying on the floor, and Arun walks out holding a gun. Meanwhile, a huge tragedy has happened to Arun's family. Amu is missing, and a gift box is found on the wall of their house. After thoroughly investigating the scene, Arun finds out that Amu was escorted out by a boy, and the boy had left her alone after the arrival of a van. He also finds a video of Amu laughing while watching soap bubbles. The police search for a van, but they get no result even after 2 days of searching. And then, the most heartbreaking scene of the whole movie happens. Arun himself finds the dead body of Amu in the trunk of his brother-in-law's car. Grief-stricken Arun then takes the body to their secret mortuary and returns only to find out that he is suspended from duty for shooting his gun. After throwing a tantrum and getting consoled by VG, Arun finds out the third victim, Mira, had a special device that records human voices to aid her disability. So, he finds the device and listens to the recordings, from where he finds a very unique piano music. He tries to identify this music by recreating it with the help of a musician, but no one has heard it. Anyone would have given up at this point, right? But not our hero, Arun. He takes the music track to a radio station and broadcasts it, saying anyone who identifies the music will get a prize. After a great number of failures, Arun finally identifies the music as a track played at a school function. Upon visiting the said school, Arun finds out that the event in which the music was played was a magic show hosted by a woman. To his surprise, he sees the first victim, Samyukta, in the magic show as a volunteer in the recorded video. He then visits the other schools of the victims only to find out that the same magic show has been shown in every school, and at every show, the victims volunteer to be part of the show. Arun then realizes that the magician must be the killer and asks for her details, but no one knows anything about her because she just volunteered to do the shows. But after carefully analyzing all the information he has, Arun has identified the killer's pattern. The killer first chooses her target by asking a volunteer to the show and impresses the girl with her magic. Then after 2 days, she lures the girl to her van by using the same magical enchantments, not literal, of course, and after 2 days, she abandons the dead body in a public place. After figuring this out, Arun finds out that another show has been held, and 2 days have passed already after it was held. He rushes to that school, and after finding out about the volunteer girl, he goes to the girls' class and gives out some advice on how to act in an emergency. Arun also makes sure the girl, Sanjana, understands these bits of advice and exchanges phone numbers with her. Then they let go of everyone to carry on with their schedules, but they kept tailing and kept an eye on Sanjana as she went through her classes and on the way home. I know what you are thinking right now. Why didn't he just reveal everything to her and protect her properly? Beats me, but my guess is Arun wanted to use her as bait to catch the killer. Anyway, after a brief moment of thinking that they missed her, they find out they have been tailing the wrong person all this time. How did that happen? Well, Sanjana had a twin sister, and it turns out that Arun and the gang followed her all this time. Arun asked her where Sanjana was and rushed there, but it was too late because all they found was a gift box. Arun tries to locate Sanjana's mobile phone, and he successfully does. As they reach the location, Sanjana wakes up in a haunted-looking place and sees the female magician playing the same music as before. She tries to escape from there with the help of Arun, whom she fortunately remembered to call. Even though Sanjana's escape attempt failed, it still managed to attract the attention of Arun, who was searching the area. Arun then rescues Sanjana, but the killer gets away in the van. So, here's the most interesting part of the movie. While searching the lair of the killer, Arun finds some photos of the woman and her family, along with some newspaper articles. Tracing back these articles, Arun finds out about the backstory of the killer from a retired police officer named Rajamanikam. Apparently, she was a music teacher named Mary, whose magician husband had died. Their kid, Christopher, had a rare hormone condition that made him look like an old man. Even though most students harassed him because of his condition, a girl named Sophia made Christopher her friend. Like all teenage boys with a female friend, Christopher developed a crush on Sophia, and he confessed his feelings to her. She refused him gently at first, but after his constant pestering, she told him in the library that he was not fit for marriage because he was impotent. Christopher took this to heart, but Mary consoled him, and to boost his confidence, she even styled him a bit. But someone had heard about his impotency, and students bullied Christopher the very next day after he went to school. Ashamed by this, he ran home and destroyed the toy doll he got for his birthday from Sophia. Surprise, surprise, that was the same model of the doll from the gift box. Mary then lures Sophie by making her believe that they want to make peace with her. She gave her a gift box, and in there was, you guessed correctly, the deformed head of the doll. And then, Sophia became the first victim of this deranged serial killer. The police officer mentions that he still clearly remembers the fear shown on the villagers' faces when he arrested Mary. After Arun parted ways with him, he investigates further, and we can see that he found a very important detail. He calls Arun and tells him to come and meet him, but before he gets there, Mary shows up and murders Rajamanikam. Arun goes there and finds the corpse of Rajamanikam on the floor. The police also come after hearing Arun has visited Rajamanikam and hold Arun as a suspect under the orders of Lakshmi, the annoying police inspector. But even in custody, Arun analyzes the crime scene and realizes the real killer is not Mary but Christopher dressing as a woman. Well, didn't see that one coming, did you? Arun then presents these new details to Lakshmi, but as always, she ignores it. Meanwhile, Christopher comes to kill Vijay, but after she locks herself in a room, Christopher kidnaps the adopted child of Vijay, Kale. After being informed about this, Arun breaks out of the police station with the help of a fellow police officer and goes on a pursuit. Venkat, Another police officer who is already looking for Mary finds Christopher with Cale. After getting the new information about Christopher being the killer, Venkat orders Christopher to surrender, but he doesn't, and a fight breaks out. As a result, Venkat ends up getting killed. Cale sees this and tries to escape by running. Incidentally, the location happened to be near the secret police mortuary, and the police forensic pathologist finds Cale running on his way home. He grabs the child and runs to the mortuary building, but he also gets killed by Christopher. Cale again tries to run, but Christopher attracts her by showing her some magic tricks. Right before Christopher hits Cale to kill her, our hero comes through the door, guns blazing. Actually, it's just one gun, but the moment was good. A great fight happens between the hero and the villain. Some magic tricks are used, lots of violence, and both of them get small injuries, and at last, Christopher dies at the hand of Arun. Arun wakes up in a hospital to the beautiful face of his love, Vijay, and he gets a call greenlighting his movie about serial killers. Well guys, that is the plot of Ratsasan. Talking about the production of this movie, music comes first. Composed by Gibran, the soundtracks of the film make this thrilling story much more engaging. Also, the director did more than a fine job creating this, which is proved by him getting the Filmfare Award for Best Director in 2019. As a final thought, consider this. We can clearly see that this serial murder was created because of the cruelty of our own society. Of course, to go as far as to kill someone to heal your wounds is a very drastic and insane thing to do, but nevertheless, serial killers are not born. They are created. So always be kind. Who knows, you may have saved a life by just doing that. That's it, people. Thank you for watching this video. Hit the like button if you liked this, and please let us know your thoughts in the comment box below. Have a nice day.